Many times people have asked me, what does the immune system do exactly? And how does it function? Let's peep this out.
The immune system's first line of defense consists of the skin, secretions, the flushing effect, and mucous membranes. Pretend this trampoline is the skin, and this is a pathogen. The skin blocks the pathogen from ever entering the body by blocking it. So no matter how hard the pathogen tries to enter through the skin constantly blocks it. First line of defense is secretions. Secretions include sweat, mucus, saliva, and tears. Madison over here is crying because she got a pathogen in her eye. Secretions contain lysozyme, an enzyme that breaks down pathogens. The third line of the first line of defense are the mucous membranes. The mucous membranes produce mucus that entrap pathogens. The pathogens then are moved up by the cilia to the mouth or to the nasal passage, where they can either be sneezed out by the nose or swallowed into the digestive system. The last part of the first line of defense is the flushing effect. The flushing effect is the body using mass exodus to attempt to get all pathogens out of the body. The flushing effect includes sneezing, vomiting, and diarrhea. Mateo over here is very sick and is vomiting.
Oh no, I'm very sick and vomiting. Oh no, I think it's gonna...
The immune system's second line of defense consists of the inflammatory response, fever, and interferon proteins.
Alright, gamers. So, the inflammatory response is when tissues are injured and pathogens seep in. The capillaries dilate and allow blood to escape and begin to swell the surrounding tissues. Then, phagocytes, also known as white blood cells, to eat the pathogens.
The next part of the second line of defense is the fever. Normally, pathogens are just allowed to reproduce rampantly. But with the fever, the production of pathogens slows to a crawl, and the production of white blood cells goes way up. The third line of defense and the second line of defense are the interferon proteins. The interferon proteins get in the way of pathogens and increase the production of enzymes.
You didn't give me enough
But
money
the interferon proteins and the pathogens will all die because the interferon proteins interrupt cell protein reproduction. The third line of defense is the body's specific immune system response.
You know, the mortgage in my house just fell through, so I'm not in the brightest mood, but, you know, I'm still here to teach you the importance of the third line of defense in the immune system. So let's go. Spread. Alright, it starts with the infected body cell. It's just like hanging around being a bad guy. The helper T cell comes in, he's like, oh no, bad person. Let me get my hombres, killer T cell, and B cell. When that happens, like, the B cell, he creates, like, the plasma cell, which creates little thingies called antibodies. What these do, well, they go over to the killer T, like the infected body cell, and they just snap onto these little nodules called antigens. Now, this process is what is known as the antibody-antigen complex. And what this is that it slows down the virus's growth. It's really important. Anyways, as that's going on, the killer T cell finally arrives on the scene, where it just goes over and just brutally murders just, the infected body cell and the virus. Doesn't really care at all. Anyways, once this thing's just hanging about, in order to keep it from, destroying everything else, like a suppressor T cell comes in, he tells them, like, yo, chill out, my hombre. And off they go into oblivion. And the memory T cell comes by and makes sure to capture the pathogen's knowledge, pretty much. And this little buddy, this guy, he's really important because he saves all the memories of, like, that pathogen, so that way you can't get infected by it again. Boom, done. Oh, you best believe I have no clue what pathogens do.